Welcome back. Let's take a look at problem 7, which says use a graphing calculator to help you solve the equation 3x squared minus 3x minus 4 is equal to 0. So it wants us to use our graphing calculator. So I got my graphing calculator out. I went into the y is equal to. I typed the left side of this equation right there. And since it's equal to 0, what we need to do is find the zeros. And so what we can do is find a decent window, which, I don't know, the numbers are pretty small. So how about -5 to +5? And then we graph that, and we can see where it crosses the x-axis twice. And so the zeros, if you remember, the zeros are the same thing as our x-intercepts, except zeros, we just have the x-coordinates. Because in this problem, we just have x values. We don't have any y values because we replaced the 0 with y. So we want the zeros. Okay, so to find the zeros, I don't know if you saw that before, but it's in our calculate screen. So I'm going to press second, trace, gets us into our calculate screen, and then option 2 is zeros. And because we have more than one zero, and even if we have one, our calculator is going to ask us for the left and right bound. So we go to that 0, go to the left a little bit, and then right bound, so use the right arrow to go to the right, hit enter, and enter again, and it tells us the 1 0 is at -7.583, and so on. And then we need to do the same thing for the other 0. So second trace, which is our calculate screen, option 2, which is zeros, left bound, right bound, and hit enter twice, and we get 1.7583, and so on. Okay, so that's problem 7. So number 8 says 2 posts, one 11 feet high and the other 23 feet high, stand 25 feet apart. They are to be stayed by 2 guy wires attached to a single stake, running from ground level to the top of each post. Where should the stake be placed to use the least wire? So we could put the stake over here or anywhere, between these 2 posts. The function that expresses the length of the wire in terms of the distance the stake is from the 11-foot post is W of x is equal to this equation. What are reasonable values to use for x? In other words, what is the domain in the context of this problem? So x is the distance from this 11-foot post to the stake, and that stake is anywhere in between these 2 posts. So x could be as small as 0 or as big as 25. So 0 to 25 would be reasonable x values. Part B says find the value of x which uses the least amount of wire. So I'm going to get my calculator out, go into the y is equal to, and type in this new equation. So now that it's typed in, we can use those reasonable x values that we found to set our window. We said it went from 0 to 25. And then I can do zoom bit, which is zoom 0. And there's our graph. And so part B says, find the value of x, which uses the least amount of wire. And so we want to find this minimum point. And so second trace is our calculate screen. Minimum is option 3. And then we need to do the left bound and the right bound. So our minimum is x is equal to 8.088 and so on, and y is 42.201 and so on. So the problem says find the value of x. So the x value is 8.088, and so we want our stake to be 8.0882 and so on feet from the 11-foot post. Part C says how much wire will be used. Well, if you look at our equation, x was the distance from the 11-foot post to the stake, but W, it tells you, is the amount of wire. And so the least amount of wire would be the y value here. So 42.201 and so on feet. Okay, please take a look at the homework. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll talk to you later.